You flip a coin to go see who goes first. I don't know if you know that. Okay, so that obviously makes a difference as well. But it's so new, so they don't really like the rules are so touchy feely. Like they have rules like you can't flinch, you can't club, you can't do stepping fouls, you can't pivot your feet, things like that. But they let a lot of things slide, like and there's ways to go around it. Like Brandon, even I was talking to him and he was like, yeah, like I told her exactly what to do. Tuck your chin. You're not supposed to tuck your chin. You're supposed to have it out. She came out with her chin super tucked, and they would like move it up. And then he literally told me, he's like, when I told her once they look away from you, tuck it again. Continue tucking it. And so there's so many 100%. Ways to cheat. You got to find that gray area. It's just one of those sports.
Well, it's like fighting in general. You have to know the rules and know how to play, and you have to always play on the edge. Always, it's important. It's a necessary thing that you have to do because that's fighting.
Yeah, I was just talking about this last night with somebody. You have to find the gray area. You have to bend the rules a little bit, because otherwise.
Yeah, if I want to stop you from moving a lot, I'm gonna try to hit you as close to the hip. No, I can't hit you on the hip, but I'm gonna hit you on as close to the hip as possible so that movement starts to stop.
Yes, exactly.
Right? It's those types of things that we gotta do. I mean, I don't want to hit you low, but I gotta hit you on the belt line.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to hit you behind the ear, but I gotta hit you on the ear.
Yes,
right?
exactly. It is even like maybe even like in slapping, maybe club just a little bit. Go a little deeper than you're supposed to. Like with her, with my opponent I just had, she did really well. Like I said, with tucking the chin, and then with each shot, she kind of turned with it, so she didn't just take it. And I could feel it, and I noticed. And then when I watched it back, you could definitely see it. It's very slight, but I just got the pictures back, and every picture she's like fully turned, like she's just not really eating the shot.
Now, if you were to hit her right here as she's doing that, is that a foul?
Technically, yeah. Like if I go a little deeper,
but she's moving her face.
Right, exactly. So it's like. Next time I will definitely be bending the rules, and I'm gonna play. I gotta play the game next time. I just went out there and was just a dog, just took it took it on the chin, did what I was supposed to do. Yeah. But can't play fair in these fights.
Are they regular weight classes?
Yeah. So I do flyweight 125. Okay. They do have a straw weight, but there's not many girls in it.
Like
and then they do
115.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then they've got flyweight, bantamweight. They've got 45
Is it
like
MMA weights?
Yeah.
Like, 25, 35, 45, 55, 70.
Yes, they have 70s. These girls are big.
Really?
Yeah.
They got 7. Wow.
I wouldn't go over 35 or 25. Like I walk closer to 35, and a lot of people are like, why do you cut? I'm like, because I don't want to fight a 35er. Why would I want to get slapped by a 35er? I'd rather just put in the work to make the weight. Okay, but all right. What's up, Shane? How we doing?
Doing great.
Good. Thank you so much for being here.
We started a great conversation.
Yes,
They're not going to know this, but
we're recording pretty much the good 2/3 of that.
Okay, great.
All right, great. Well, this is In the Corner with Destiny McCubbin. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, I'm sitting here with one of the legends of the game, Shane Mosley Jr., who is also fresh off signing with Zuffa Boxing.
Yes, I am.
Headlining May 10th.
Yep. Mother's Day. Oh, my goodness. Okay, awesome. Mom's going to be in attendance, I assume? No, but my wife is going to be there.
Okay.
And, my mom's going to be watching.
Okay, awesome.
And so it's going to be great.
Awesome. I love it. How are you feeling about it? Like when obviously Zuffa's new. This is Zuffa 7, right?
Zuffa 6.
Zuffa 6. Yes. Okay. So we're new. How do you feel about the new organization? What made you decide to go this route?
I love it. I think that they are promising a lot of good fights. They're promising also consistency for fighters. And that's what I love. And obviously I'm somebody that doesn't have I'm not, undefeated. They signed me and wanted me after I lost. And I thought that was great. I fought for the world title last year, December 6th. And they literally called me a couple of days later. And it was like, hey, we want you.
Wow.
You want to, join? And I'm like, what? I thought I was going to hear from anybody for a long time. I was going to have to be out there begging, please, can you fight? I thought that's how it was going to be. And no, they wanted me, and I love that. And I wanted to be with them. I Obviously, have been around fighting for a very long time. Also, have worked at the UFC headquarters. I used to do like a wellness program there.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was very familiar with that. I love UFC as far as the sport is concerned, MMA in general.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, like when they came up with this thing, I was supportive. I wanted to see what it was about.
Yeah.
And if you see like what they've done with MMA, right? They have taken a sport and have created a league that defines the sport.
Yes.
So with that being said, right, if you think of basketball, you think of NBA. If you think of football, you think of NFL. If you think of MMA, you think of UFC.
Yep.
How many people will say, "Oh, you do UFC"?
Yes.
What they mean is you do MMA.
Right.
Right. And they don't have that for boxing. There's not any entity or anything that anybody thinks of when they think of boxing. They just think of boxing as a whole. And I think it was great to be able to at least try
Yeah.
to do that. And I think they have a good shot at that.
Absolutely.
So I think that is necessary, especially in a world that is very, very that is trying to get your attention. There's so many different things, apps and social media and everything that's trying to get your attention. When you think of these other sports like NFL, NHL, right now it's playoffs. Shout out Golden Knights.
Hey, let's go. Vegas strong.
You think of that, and there's consistency that comes with that. There's the fanfare, because there's so many things that are coming at people and trying to get their attention. And so if you don't have that entity, it's hard to keep them. And there's so many times that I had fought and people were like, "Oh, you fight?" Because most people, because I look like my dad, they go, "Oh, you're Shane's son. Oh, did you ever think about fighting?" And I'm like, I literally just fought like 2 days ago. I literally just fought like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But how can you blame them when there's not something that is constantly telling them that things are happening, right? Because they got these phones, they got computers, they got all these things that are pulling their attention away. And how can I assume that they're going to want to stay focused with me if it's not consistent? Yes.
Yeah. We live in a world where, it's like everybody has such a short attention span for sure. Do you feel like, so obviously you've been in the boxing game a long time, just being raised in it and then fighting in it. And you hear kind of a lot of people say that it's boxing is going down the drain, basically. A lot of people think that. Do you feel like Zuffa is kind of, this is good for the sport and can potentially save it, bring it back to life a little bit?
Well, I don't think that boxing is going down the drain.
I don't either.
But what I do think is that it needs consistency. I do feel like it needs an entity.
Yeah.
That's why all of these, like I mentioned, all of these sports have an entity that when people think of it, of the sport, they think of this entity because it helps kind of crystallize it in people's mind.
Yeah.
And so that's important. Because yes, there are diehard boxing fans. There are.
Yeah.
But you need to give them a reason to constantly be tuned in, and then also find a way to get new people to watch and be a part of it.
Yeah.
Right. And the only way that you can do that was consistency. Right. Consistency is the father of learning. So that is going to be the way to get people onto the sport.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I love this sport. I love boxing. It has given me everything that I have and will have, right? So with that being said, I want to give back, and I want to be a part of its growth, and I want to be a part of its consistency. So if we can get that going and have, like the UFC, they have stuff going every single week, you know, for a fact. And then they got, Tough Enough. They got, all this other stuff that's going. Dana White's Contender Series. They got all these things that are going. And you just know every week we got something on Paramount Plus.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to think about it. I'm just, oh man, I know this. It's Saturday. There's a fight coming on.
Yes.
Who's fighting? Boom, and then I tune in and I'm watching UFC, and then when they're on there, they're talking about, this guy's fighting or this guy's coming up. Oh man, next week make sure you tune in to this guy. So now I'm thinking, okay, such and such is fighting. Sean Strickland's fighting. Blah blah blah. And I'm tuned in and I'm locked for the next week. And then that's how you continue to build fans, continue to build consistency and all those things. And that's what we need. Yes, boxing does have the big fights, the Ryan Garcia fights, the Shakur Stevenson, the Terrence Crawford and Canelo, right?
Amazing.
Big, huge fights. But what about the little guys? What about everybody else?
Yep.
Because not everybody else is Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? These are rarities, right? We talk about rarities that, yes, get a lot of people going and want to watch. But what about these other guys? So, and I think that'll help the sport as a whole.
This is Zuffa's giving that platform,
Absolutely. They're giving guys that lost their last fight a main event spot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I even had a chance to cover the last boxing event, and the guys, on the early card, they've got like 6 fights. They're really just starting out. So I agree. I think it's awesome to see them giving them a platform to kind of 100%. Show themselves. Obviously, you've come up in the sport. Your dad is a legend, Sugar Shane Mosley.
Yes.
How was it? Like, did you just kind of did it choose you? Like, this was just bound to be your life, or did you have other options and you chose boxing?
I definitely chose boxing.
Okay.
Other options, I'm not sure, but I definitely chose it.
Okay.
There's a little bit of like it's in your blood. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I absolutely. I never really indulged in too many other things because I really did love fighting. And when I was able to get in there for myself and see and have that feeling of like wanting to be better and wanting to become better. It was just like, And then I guess where the apple isn't far from the tree is when I did, say, hey, I want to fight. My reinforcement was my dad, who I was like, oh, I want to fight. All right. Sounds great. You're going to become champion. You know what I mean? It's like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it wasn't like, oh, hey, I want to be a doctor. Nah, are you sure? It was like, I want to fight. Okay, well, you're going to become a champion.
Period.
Oh, okay. And so like to have that type of help is not necessarily normal. Usually when people are like, oh yeah, I want to be, this, it's like, well, okay, maybe a plan B or, something like that. And obviously I had a dad who fought. So it was kind of like, be a champion like me. Yes. Right.
Kind of paved the way, right?
Yeah.
How was it coming up as his son? Was it nice having him as a part of your team? Is he a big part of it now still? Do you feel like you're living in a shadow, or do you feel like you've created your own career? Oh,
well, so I'll start with the last question. I definitely don't feel like I'm living in a shadow.
Awesome.
I obviously took a lot of work to not feel like that. And it wasn't necessarily him. It was like kind of everyone else. And then just having the understanding to see like not everybody is going to think like you, right? Everybody has kind of a regular mentality. And then so I have to be different, because if I look at like, oh, those are big shoes to fill, right? It's like, that's not a winning mentality.
Yeah.
Who cares about the shoes? I'm going to be the best version of me. You know what I mean? Like, and that's winning mentality. That's how you know what I mean? If I go, oh, I don't know if I could do this, or I could never be as good as him, or could I be as good as, like that's a weak mentality. And I can't fault people for having that. But if I'm going to have a great career and be the best that I could be, I can't have anybody's expectations but myself.
Yeah.
And I gotta see how how big I could be, how good I could be, and trust in that, and just work every single day harder and harder and harder. So once I started to understand that and realize that, and also grow as a man and grow as a husband, grow as a father, and all of these different ways, you start to see like, I have to create this for myself, right? Even with my family, I got to be the father that I want to be for my kids. I got to be the husband that I want to be for my wife. I got to do all of these things, and it's all tied in. It's all a part of it, because if I'm a stronger man, I'm stronger in this way, right? If somebody tells me, "Oh, well, you shouldn't do that with your kids," hey, chill out. That's mine, right? It's the same with my career. Hey, you should be, no, that's mine.
Love that.
Right? It's the same muscle. And so the stronger you become as a man, the stronger you become in yourself, the more that you can make those decisions and then see the type of life and thing that you want, so that you can get it. Do me and my father have a good relationship right now, or is he in my corner? So he's not in my corner. He supports me. But I just come in and coming to training sessions, coming to stuff like that.
Does he live here as well?
No, he lives in Puerto Rico right now. And so he comes to sessions. Yeah. I'm sure he'll be out for my fight and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think I prefer him just being my dad.
Yeah,
just
more the father role.
Yeah, just be supportive, right? And because I want to be seen like he is a colleague, right? He also did this. But not like, oh, you're Shane, like, like, you doing what I'm doing, or you're Shane's son. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that. And I don't want to feel like that, especially when I'm fighting.
Definitely. Yeah. Circling back to Zuffa, it's obviously new. Have you had a chance to like work with them at all? Because I've heard from some of the fighters now, they're saying like they just treat them so well. It's been an awesome promotion. Are you getting some of that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I have noticed that. I mean, for one, I'm like I said, a main event. This is my first main event. Okay. So it's incredible to think that like they signed me and they made me a main event, and then just like covering me with camera crews and stuff like that, which is awesome. Like cool. Get my meals taken care of. Like these are things that are not kind of normal.
Because Zuffa also has access to the PI, like yes. The UFC fighters.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can work out there. We can do the physical therapy there. We get meals, supplements, all those things.
Has that been like a noticeable difference in your camps and
very helpful for me, because for one, I don't have to really think about it too much, and two, the expense is not very much, right? Like obviously I don't have to, that's not an expense I have to pay for as far as like PT, food, supplements. These are important things.
It's incredible. That's why the level is so different.
Right. And then just being able to have like the support, I can like ask like, oh, hey, can I get this, or whatever the case is, and I feel like they've been very, very helpful. So that's a positive thing for, up-and-coming fighters, just fighters in general, right? Like something that you don't have to think about, that you would, in regular boxing, like you would just have to do it yourself and figure it out, or pay money for it, and to have that. And if you're making a lot of money where you can do that, then cool. But it's nice to not have that expense and not to have to think about a lot of those things.
Right. Do you think that Zuffa is going to just triumph kind of all other promotions, organizations in the boxing world because it's offering all these things, taking care of the fighters as such?
Well, I think a couple of things are going to have to happen. I think either, these other promotions are going to have to raise their game, or it's just going to be like a different league, like different leagues. Yeah. So, it's just one of those things where like, I think that some of these guys will just have to raise their game. Yeah. I think it'll be important.
Which would be good.
Yeah. For the sport. 100%. And just like how, UFC has the PFL. They used to have Bellator. There's some other one.
Yep.
There's other organizations that, you know, people can still go to.
Yeah.
But the main one is that. And do I think Zuffa will become the main one? I do.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. Just being at the show and stuff, it's ran incredibly well. Have you had a chance to go to a fight yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to the first one.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So did I. I love it, but I keep telling them, like, they're gonna have to get out of the Apex eventually. It's gonna grow too big. Yeah.
I believe they'll get out of the Apex once they start having champions.
Okay, yeah.
And then once you know, like, obviously Jai is the champion, but like when there's starting to be more, like when there's a champion in every single weight class, I feel like they're gonna have to start
going to arenas.
Yeah. And I feel like this is the necessary steps that they need to take in order to get there.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to just, you know, start like that.
Right.
You want to build that fanfare. You know, take the first year and a half to, you know, build in your basement. Like everybody likes to say, you know, obviously people are saying, oh, they just do fights in their basement. But like, why not? What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Because when we get out of this basement, we're gonna be there.
Yeah. And I highly suggest getting in there while they're in the basement, because it is so cool seeing these fights when it's such a small space, because you're just right there hearing the punches, seeing the blood and the sweat fly. Like it's really cool. It's an awesome thing to be a part of. So definitely suggest you guys get up in there.
100%.
So we're just a couple weeks out now. What, 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, gearing up. How you feeling? How's camp been? You got a pretty, you know, large task at hand. So how we feeling?
I feel great. I'm prepared. Prepared, I feel like, to the best of my ability. And I'm going to go out there and show the world how great I am.
Absolutely. And where are you training? Where's preparation taking place?
So I'm training over at Split T, and Split T is the boxing gym I train at. And then I train strength and conditioning over at Extreme Couture.
Okay, awesome. With Q?
Yes.
He did. In one of my Instagram questions, when his question was, how much has Q impacted your life?
That's funny.
He's great. He's awesome.
He is awesome.
Yeah, I had a pleasure of working with him back in the day. He really knows his stuff.
He does.
Yeah. And are you still coaching? Because I know you coach at Syndicate back in the day as well. Do you still do that at all?
No, I felt like it was necessary to put all my energy into fighting.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to give this my very, very best. And then later on, if I want to do that, I can always do that later.
Yeah, 100%.
The knowledge is not going anywhere.
Yeah. Who are you training with at Split T? I know a couple of the guys there. I know they run like team practices, but do you kind of do your own thing?
No, I train with a guy named Eric Bellinger.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he's my head coach.
Awesome. Very nice.
Yeah.
Great. And how long have you been over there? Because they're
going on 2.5 years.
Because are they kind of new? They were like with the One Kick gym.
Yeah, they were with One Kick.
Okay.
No, so they're not with One Kick anymore.
Okay. Is Dewey still there?
Dewey comes every now and again because I think they train the TCL over there.
Yeah. What do you think about TCL?
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice little break off of, you know, regular boxing.
Yeah.
And to have that team aspect, I feel like it's cool. I feel like it could be, you know, something that picks up. You know, I mean, I'm not sure how big it'll be, but I think it's cool to have that like team aspect and also to like that really, really high competitiveness.
Yes, and it'll go on your record, so that's kind of cool. You're just out there gaining so much experience.
I think you have a separate. Is there like a separate like?
As far as I'm concerned, no
record.
Yeah, no. So you're gaining all that experience, and they're paying well. You know, you're fighting like every other week.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a season thing.
Okay.
So that's really cool. You know, another way to get these fighters paid, which is awesome.
Yes, 100%.
It does seem like your family seems to be a big part of, you know, preparation and just the whole thing. So how is that? How is that having? You have babies and stuff too, right?
Yeah, I have 4 kids.
Okay.
And they are with me all the time.
What do they think about dad gearing up for a big fight?
Oh, they love it.
Yeah.
My oldest and my youngest like love boxing specifically.
Awesome.
You know, my other 2 like boxing.
Yeah.
You know, they think it's, you know, that's what daddy does. But like my oldest and my youngest are like love it. So my oldest, he boxes. He's a boxer.
Okay.
And
how old?
He's 13. He just turned 13.
Oh wow.
And he is phenomenal. He's just such an incredible athlete.
Really?
Yeah, he's insane. He's gonna be a good boxer.
Do they get to train like alongside you, or you got them
like
somewhere else?
he's on most days he's with me,
Okay.
like training and working out. And then my youngest, he's 1.5, and he already is like, so he calls his gloves boobop. and and he always goes
Oh, okay. Let's go.
and he wants to hit everything and hit everybody and he always wants to go boobop.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. And like you said, the fight is on Mother's Day.
Yes.
Wife's going to be in attendance.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming, like, I always like to ask, how it is having a wife being a part of it, because I'm sure she does a lot of the work that people don't even know or understand.
Yeah. It's very important for me. I wouldn't have a career if it weren't for my wife, because she holds me down and makes sure everything is great. And so I'm very, very thankful to have somebody that's so supportive and just helpful.
Yes.
Especially even with the kids and with just everything. She's so incredible.
Amazing.
So, and that she's there. Like I always, like anytime I fight, like I always
You can find her. Yep.
and I give her a wink.
Oh,
Always.
I love that.
It's a crowd full of people, but like I only see you, and I feel like that's important to let her know, because if anything happens, right, like I want her to know that I see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Through
you guys.
all the crazy. Yeah,
That's so important. So important to have that in this crazy game. It's cutthroat. So having
100%.
that is amazing. I love that for you, champ.
Thank you.
Of course. So what are your plans with Zuffa? Obviously, you're just getting started. You are headlining, but this is the start of a new era of boxing. So what is your game plan for it? Like, you want to be the champion?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't get in here to be average. I got in here to be the champion. So whatever it takes to become champion,
And how
I'm willing
often?
to do. If I could fight 3 to 4 times this year, I will.
Okay, let's go.
And I want to be champion hopefully as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Have they said anything about traveling, or are all fights going to be taking place here in Las Vegas for the beginning?
I believe that they plan on doing a fight overseas too.
Okay.
I think that was kind of one of the reasons why they signed Conor Ben, is to start having like shows over there. I'm sure they're getting other like guys overseas so they can start doing fights on like in England or UK and probably other places as well. So I think that'd be great, and I'd love to fight in other places.
Heck yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's always the coolest part, is seeing the world on this dime,
100%.
Yes. I wanted your opinion on like the Muhammad Ali Act, how kind of Dana White's trying to get rid of that for the boxing.
So he's not trying to
side.
get rid of it.
Okay.
To be clear,
Educate me. Yes.
So to my knowledge, that they are trying to alter a few things.
Okay.
I can't remember particularly which things, but just make a little changes and addendums to certain things that can allow, my understanding, the leagues to happen. Because right now, leagues can't happen under the Muhammad Ali Act, and that's why they haven't. And like I said, when I was talking about entities that kind of identify the sport, they don't have that, and that's the reason, is because of the Muhammad Ali Act, to my understanding. And so having that change, he's like, look, like, y'all could do whatever y'all want to do.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to have my league of boxing and be able to play within this.
Yeah.
Right. Just kind of how he has that. And I think that there's pros and cons, and I feel like, in my opinion, the pros outweigh the cons.
Okay.
Because why isn't it more consistent? Why isn't there why doesn't every boxing promotion have a fight every week? Why aren't these things happening? And it could be pay, it could be so many other different things. I'm not on that side, but I do think that fighters can benefit from the league and benefit from having kind of a separate entity that runs it all.
So this could actually be beneficial for the sport and the fighters.
I do, because when you talk about the way that it's kind of been going, that's why there's multiple different belts, right? And I can make a belt. you could make a belt, right? And if somebody,
I always thought that there's so many belts.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like, there's belts all the time. There's the ABC belt. There's literally an ABC belt. There's like all kinds of different like belts that you can create, and if a big promotion or a big fighter has the belt, then it gets recognized. Right. And so with that being said, it's like there's so many different entities that are kind of in there having championships, and there's pros to that. Obviously, people watch because people want to see championships, like in general. Like when, that's why the Olympics exist. That's why all these things. When somebody goes, "Hey, we're fighting for a championship," it goes, "Oh, okay, well, all right," and it gets your attention. And so that's why that they have that. But if there was one league with one championship, they would be kind of more understanding, more competitiveness. There's so many different things that go on with that, consistency, things like that. So I think it'd be helpful. And if you guys want to have WBC and all these other belts, fine. Yeah, if you guys, and I think that Dana has been willing to, have both of them. Like, I think he tried with the IBF to have like it be the Zuffa belt and the IBF belt. Apparently the IBF didn't like that very much, and they stripped Jai Opetaia. So I'm not sure if it was like an ego thing or what it was, but I think there was a willingness there to be kind of in the same playing field and say, hey, we can all play together. But I guess they didn't like that for whatever reason. I'm not sure what the reasoning is. So going back to it, I don't feel like they're trying to take anything away. Like, even in that, I feel like it was in good faith to like, hey, like, let's work together. He can be, you know, our champion as well as your guys' champion, and we could fight here together. And the IBF, I guess, didn't like that, and they signed also IBF champion Richardson Hitchens, and with him signing to Zuffa, the IBF actually stripped him.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure what that is, and I'm not sure if that's just, we've been doing it this way, so we got to do it this way for forever.
Old school. It's just
it's just like an old school way of thinking about it. Like, hey, like, let's elevate. Even having the conversation of like his boxing going down and all of these things, even having that thought, because nobody ever has that thought about any other of those entities that I was talking about, NFL, NBA, like nobody's like, oh, is it ever going to be what do you think in the next 5 years? Are these still going to be a thing?
Right.
Nobody ever has that conversation. MLB, nothing.
True.
Right? Why in our sport, boxing that is, are we having this conversation? Even to have that thought of like, it could go away. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So
100%.
I don't want that to happen.
Right.
I want a consistency. I want people
Growth.
to be,
You got to go with the times.
Exactly. And I think maybe in the Muhammad Ali era, that was a necessary thing. And we can, we can commend that and appreciate that. But things have to grow, and I hope that they can come together and help this grow. And the people that want to sign to Zuffa and be a part of this league that is its own thing, let them.
Right.
And the people that want to be outside of that, let them. Right. And so I think that that's the point of the addendum. I don't think that he's trying to take it away. I think that was a part of his testimony that he said, I'm not trying to take away the Muhammad Ali Act. I'm just trying to make a few addendums so that we can have our league. Yeah.
Thank you for your input, because I just see stuff on social media, and I know that I don't know enough to really speak on it, but I wanted to bring it up. Somebody who, might know more. So thank you.
And I think that is the point, right? Social media, that's the point of social media. That's the point of all of these things that's trying to get your attention, right? Yeah. That it's like, hey, they're trying to take away the Muhammad Ali Act. And,
you see everybody mad. Like I see people upset.
But of course, if somebody says, oh, you're trying to take the Muhammad Ali Act that was, trying to help fighters and stuff like that, you go, oh, why would you do that?
Right.
Like, why are you trying to, hurt fighters and you're trying to take away their likeness and all those things. But like, look how many people are in the UFC that want to get into the UFC.
Yeah.
You would think, and Power Slap and BJJ, all of these entities that they are a part of. And there's so many people that are trying to get involved with it and be a part of it and all of these things. If they were, you know, really messing up people's life and things like that, why would so many people want to be a part of these things?
Yep. I say that all the time.
And so, and why are so many boxers that, I mean, we're talking about guys that have fought for all kind of promoters, boxing promoters. I mean, the Eddie Hearns of the world, the Golden Boys, all of these fighters that have been with these top promoters, and they're coming over, and even Devin Haney's talking about going over. Yeah, Conor Benn. There's a list of guys that are going over to, you know, this entity that have been with top promoters before. Why would they do that if the Muhammad Ali Act was helping them so much?
Right. I agree. And whenever I have the chance to talk to the boxers, you know, at the events, they all say the same thing, that they're treated well. They love being with Zuffa. You know, they're all very happy with everything. So I think it's great to see.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, I never got PT for free. I never got, you know what I mean?
Food,
like I never got food,
recovery.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
I had to pay for it all myself. And that added up.
Oh yeah.
It's very, very expensive.
It's a very expensive lifestyle.
And I would say that, like, I've never gotten like what I'm getting now with Zuffa.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not different.
A lot different.
It's not, well, as far as the pay is concerned, like they say, oh, like, you know, like Zuffa's robbing fighters. I'm like,
like, where?
Yeah, I'm not getting robbed. Well, I feel like I'm
getting
taken care of. Yeah,
good.
Absolutely.
I love that.
So
good.
I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of garbage.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited. I will be there to see you fight. Perfect. So I'm excited. And I'm going to kind of circle back one more time. How do you feel about, I just wanted your opinion. How do you feel about MVP as well? The most valued promotions.
Oh, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think that what they're trying to do is great. They're putting on good fights.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to build consistency. I see, especially with the women, and which is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're in that time where women want to fight more and want to, you know, be seen, and they're doing it.
They're doing well.
Yeah. And so I'd like to see, you know, some of the fellas a little bit more, you know what I mean? But absolutely, I think what they're doing is great. They're building consistency. They're putting on big fights and good fights.
I hear they seem like they're paying well.
I heard that they're paying well. So, you know, good for them. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think that if you're, you know, not on the side of Zuffa, you got to step your game up. And I think that they're stepping their game up.
They're doing that,
Yes.
Yep, I agree. Awesome. Just wanted your thoughts on that. Well, like I said, I will be there May 10th. I cannot wait to see you go out there and do your thing. Before I let you go, I like to do a little bit of a fun rapid fire. Is that all right?
Go. Sure.
Okay. Rapid fire. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. First or last round?
Last round.
Pineapple on pizza?
Yes.
Hurt or tired?
Tired.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Mr. Brightside.
Run or swim?
Swim.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Let's say run fast.
Okay. Last one. One word to describe you this fight on May 10th.
Phenomenal.
Let's go. Period. Mic drop. Great answer. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Shane.
Yes.
I had a great time. This is In the Corner, and it was awesome having you on. May 10th, new era, big stage. Go out there and do your thing. Do not miss it, guys. Zuffa Boxing, May 10th at the UFC Apex. Thank you so much, Shane.
Thank you.
This is In the Corner with Destiny McCubbin. Real fighters, real stories, real talk. We'll see you next round.